Hi, good morning. My name is Dario. I recently completed my degree in criminology and criminal psychology with the University of Essex. I'm currently a part-time military officer. I live in Barbados in the Caribbean. I studied in sociology, criminology. I did my bachelor's at the University of West Indies, Cayfield. Then I studied in China for a year. Then I studied in United States before I decided to do my master's degree with the University of Essex. I decided to study online because of the convenience and particularly because I wanted to do a UK master's, and at the time there were many other factors to consider, especially in terms of the economic costs, and then we had COVID and other similar obstacles. So I decided that online would be able to facilitate achieving the degree despite the hardship and other factors. I chose Essex Online because in doing my research and checking reviews and what's not, I like what I saw from the get-go, and in contacting the university, the staff were very friendly. They would reply within 2 to 3 hours, and for me that was always welcoming, especially coming from the Caribbean, because in some instances when I was doing my bachelor's, it would take staff 2 and 3 days to reply. So to get replies within the same day and within 2 to 3 hours, it felt as though like there was a two-way relationship, in the sense that the school wanted me just as much as I wanted them. To study 100% online was interesting. It required a lot more time management than I initially thought it would. But at the same time, it was convenient because in many instances, I was able to do my work or at least participate in class discussions, whatever the case may be, in less than ideal situations or environments, because I could remember at one point I was doing some work while I was staying in the desert in the US, using a generator and in the desert. So for me, the online option was very convenient, and it's something that I believe more and more is going to become a norm. Um, it felt really rewarding to see all those long nights, long days, because like there's a time difference. Like right now, it is probably is 15 minutes to 5 in the morning in Barbados. So the time difference, at times it made it somewhat challenging, um, but it was rewarding. And after making the sacrifices and the payments and the desire to continue and aspire to achieve more and more, it was worth it. It was worth it, and I could tell you that making the financial commitment alone says a lot, because it's like £1 is almost $3 Barbadian. So it was a bit of a financial commitment. So all in all, it was worth it, and it was rewarding. If I'm able to come to the actual graduation, yes, I would definitely come, and I would bring my mom, and of course, it's something that I would look forward to because I I love to travel to England for one, and then going to graduation would be an even greater incentive. So I can see myself definitely enjoying that experience. One of my most memorable moments, I would say, was at one point in the course, I broke my finger and I had an assignment due, and I was worried about being able to complete the assignment. So I was drugged up because it was hurting, and my mom was, maybe you should reach out to the school. So I reached out, I explained the situation, I submitted the medical report, and the type of support that I received and understanding, to me, it was remarkable. And to me, there was this genuine element of concern as well. So I would say that was one of my most memorable moments, along with um, interacting with, I think it was my tutor, Speed. I think that was the name. Yeah, along with interacting with my tutor, gaining advice, and especially Mr. Murphy with my thesis. We had some really interesting Zoom sessions, and in terms of him offering his guidance, and in terms of a tutor to student, and also as a mentor in the field as a professional. So yeah, those were definitely some of my favorite moments. My dissertation was on misconduct and corruption within the security forces in the Caribbean. Since I started on the course, I would say that I've managed to improve my time management. Managed to look at things from a different perspective because, as you know, people from all over the world would have done the course. So the cultural impact and perspective, I have a greater appreciation for certain things because, especially in the field of criminology, you tend to understand that although crime is universal, different crimes affect different societies in more way than one. So, in doing discussions and seeing the type of crimes that will be prominent in certain parts of the world compared to those that we may overlook or not even understand or factor in here in the Caribbean. So it allowed me to appreciate cultural impact and perspective to different extent. I plan to, currently I'm considering doing a PhD, but I'm getting some difficulties in terms of finding one online or stuff like that. But I basically plan to use it to more and more, quote unquote, like probably help others for starters. And I believe that's where the psychology part aspect of the degree would come in handy for me, but in a professional setting, I would just like to work within the criminal justice sector in Barbados. That would be my first option, but I'm also open to going abroad and experiencing new cultures and professional challenges. The pandemic has had some minor effects in terms of being able to make payments and then mental fatigue. That would have been the greatest challenge, the mental aspect, because it has not been easy going from one routine to just living with numerous restrictions. So I would say that was my greatest challenge. I would advise anyone thinking to study online to definitely make the move because it's worth it in terms of once as long as you're getting the support, as long as it's a two-way street, I believe that if you really want it, you would it's yours to lose. If you really want it, it's yours to lose. That's my opinion where studying online is concerned. Because at the same time, the the level of expertise is there, the marketing is there, the support is there, the information is always readily available. So there are very few deterrents when it comes to studying online in a well structured program.